impossible has happened. Unbelievable. No record for human life. Off to the races. Can they catch it?
Now he takes off the shirt. He's running down the middle by the 50. He's at the 30. He's bare-chested and banging his chest. Now he runs the opposite way. He runs at the 50. He runs at the 40. The guy is drunk, but there he goes. The 20. They're chasing him. They're not going to get him. Waving his arms. Bare-chested. Somebody stop
Look
that
out.
man.
Here comes the blue coat,
Oh,
Kevin.
they got him.
Here
They're
comes the
coming
blue
from the
coats.
left. Oh, and they tackle him at the 40-yard line.
I'm talking about balls deep. I'm talking about balls deep. I'm talking about balls deep in love. I'm talking about balls deep. I'm talking about balls deep. I'm talking about balls deep in love.
And now for our feature presentation.
Balls Deep with Devin Jovan.
What's up, guys? Welcome to our Week 9 Balls Deep Pick'em. Every week, if you guys have been watching, we go through 3 games with our lock and pick for the week of each week in the NFL. Last week, both Devin and I were 3-2. And our seasonal records, Devin is currently 26-14. He's killing it. I am 19-21. Slowly closing the gap. Had a positive week last week. I'm going 5-0 this week. You know what I mean? We gotta have that confidence every week. So we're gonna start with our first game. Our first game this week is.
This guy stinks.
This week, our first game of this week is Seattle versus Buffalo. Devin, who you got in this game?
Last week I picked against Seattle. I thought if Garoppolo could limit his turnovers, they could pull it off, but that ain't happened. So I'm going to stick with Seattle this week and against in their matchup with Buffalo. Buffalo did look better in terms of running the ball this season against New England. It was a close one until that fumble, and I think this is going to be an off game for Josh Allen, but I'm leaning to say it's going to be a low-scoring game, but the Seattle defense has told me it ain't going to happen. So, high-scoring game. I do think Josh Allen's going to have a decent game. I think they're going to lean more on the run this time around, but I think turnovers on Josh Allen's part is going to, lead to a victory in Seattle's part. And no shame in the game of Russell Wilson, because Russell Wilson is a bad man. My MVP prediction on the season is, slowly but surely making it happen.
I'm going to go with Seattle as well. Obviously, Seattle won last week. They had a great week. Like DK Metcalf said, the Russell Wilson MVP hype train is back. So he killed it last week. Seattle's receivers have been on fire with Tyler Lockett having an insane week and then DK Metcalf having an insane week the next week. I think they continue that, mostly because the Bills have kind of really looked like a shell of themselves from what they looked like right in the beginning of the season. I mean, they looked like they were ready to take the AFC East. They looked like they were ready to be like a real team, and then they've kind of just looked flat recently.
Yeah, their offense has died down.
Yeah, so
it's not as explosive.
I'm looking for it to just trend the same way. Seattle's been a lot more consistent. Obviously, like I said, their offense is really clicking. Their defense is kind of struggling. But like you said, I expect a high-scoring game just because I do think Seattle's offense, our defense, like you said, isn't good. But like the Bills' offense just hasn't been getting things going. So I do think it's high-scoring, but I don't think it's going to be too close. I'm not saying massive blowout, but I think that Seattle wins comfortably. Yeah.
I'm interested to see who Tre'Davious White guards. My assumption would be DK, but I think whoever he doesn't guard is going to have a huge game.
Have a huge
And
game.
for your sake, you better hope it's not Tyler Lockett because he might have himself a huge game again. If Josh Norman's guarding him, it's fry time.
Yeah. Now we're going to move on to our second game of the week, which is the Baltimore Ravens against the Indianapolis Colts. I'm going to go.
This is going to be a good game.
I think it's going to be a good game. However, I'm going to lean towards Baltimore on this one. A battle of two really good defenses. However, I trust the offensive play and the quarterback play of the Ravens a lot more than I do the Colts. Ultimately, I think Phillip Rivers is going to be the problem here. Baltimore Ravens defense is known for, forcing turnovers, known for making turnovers happen. A lot of versatile players, a lot of ball hawks. I think Phillip Rivers, as he's done this entire season, I think he's just going to make a lot of mistakes, a lot of turnovers. Yeah, literally. But yeah, he's just really struggled with the turnovers this season, almost giving games away at times. And I think that's what happens here, except obviously the Ravens pull this one off. I just trust Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens offense a lot more than I do the Colts offense with Phillip Rivers at the helm.
For me, it's not as easy, to pick this game. Initially, when I seen this game, I thought Ravens, easy. That's it. But now that I'm sitting here thinking about it, Baltimore has looked like a shell of itself, like you said about Buffalo. They don't look the same team that they were last year. Lamar Jackson doesn't look like the MVP that he was last year. He's not having that MVP season. It looks like teams have kind of figured him out. They're forcing him to throw, and he doesn't look nearly as impressive. It doesn't help that they lost their left tackle, Ronnie Stanley, for the season. You kind of seen the difference that he made in this, post-injury against the Steelers last week. The Ravens should have won that game, but as we both know, we picked them. They lost. So, and Indy, their defense is really good, and I think they're going to force Lamar to turn over the ball, I should say. But the one X factor is going to be, the performance of Baltimore's running backs and, Lamar Jackson using his legs. I think the difference maker will be Lamar Jackson's running. I don't know if, Indy's defense is suited to, stop that. And I'm going to pick Baltimore for the simple fact that Indy lost Jonathan Taylor, or for at least this week, right? And Phillip Rivers, like you said, I don't trust him, especially against a defense like Baltimore. I think Baltimore's going to bounce back, put pressure on Phillip. I'm not going to say they're going to sack him because Indy's offensive line is really good, but they're going to put pressure on him. I don't think that run game's going to help at all against Baltimore, and I think they're going to force Phillip Rivers to throw, and that's where the mistake's going to, happen. I do think this is going to be a low-scoring game, though. I think this is going to be a defensive battle. So just watch out, Lamar Jackson. We need you here. And we're going to, shift over to our final key matchup of the week. I know before, I think it was week 1, we forgot this matchup on the weekly pick'em, so we had to go back and re-record it. But we ain't going to forget it this time. Or I won't forget it this time, at least. So New Orleans is playing Tampa, but I think this matchup is going to be a bit better than the first one. I mean, the Saints are getting Michael Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders back. They just made a trade. They won't have him for, this game, but they're still the Saints. They're still a pretty impressive team. And then you have the Bucs, who looked a lot better recently in comparison to what they did week 1. And they're only getting Antonio Brown. It's nothing. They're getting him for this matchup, and it should be very interesting. I mean, outside of this past week with them playing the Giants, they've looked very explosive. But against the Giants, that defense, kind of slowed it down. But I think with Antonio Brown coming and joining that offense, I think they're going to be a bit more explosive. And that's the reason why I'm going to pick Tampa for this matchup. I picked New Orleans last time. I'm going to pick Tampa this time. I just think, Antonio Brown is going to be the difference maker. I don't think they're going to be able to single coverage on him and Mike Evans and be able to succeed. I think that Saints defense isn't like their offense at all.
I'm leaning towards the Saints here. I think the Giants kind of gave. Obviously, the Giants defense played really well against Tampa Bay's offense. But I think offensively, they kind of gave the recipe on what you're supposed to do against that Tampa Bay defense. I mean, they got the ball out quick. Saints are getting Michael Thomas back. We know how much they love their slant routes, how much they love to give Michael Thomas the ball on the slants. So getting the ball out quick. I mean, ultimately, the difference between the Giants winning and losing that game was their quarterback play, which I think, obviously, Saints quarterback Drew Brees is not Daniel Jones, a lot better than Daniel Jones.
What's up, Isaiah?
So I think the difference between winning and losing really was the quarterback play for the Giants, and that's why I think that the Saints win. Like I said, I mean, getting the ball out quick to a receiver like Michael Thomas, who I said loves the slant route. We saw what the Giants' run game was able to do. And having Alvin Kamara, a better running back than anybody the Giants currently have on their running back staff, who can also catch passes in the backfield. I think it's gonna be a high-scoring game.
For sure.
But I got the Saints coming out with this one.
I don't know. I just like this matchup for Tampa. I think, regardless of how many snaps Antonio Brown plays, whether it's 10 or the all 100% of the snaps, I think he's going to make a difference while he's on the field. Whether he does anything, that's to be seen. But I just think that when he's on the field, the defense has to worry about him. There's no question about it. He's one of the greatest receivers to touch the field.
Yeah.
Especially in recent years. And I think if he's anything like we last seen of him, it's going to be a problem. He would in New England. When that one game that he played, he was scoring touchdowns. So I'm totally expecting that to happen. And Leonard Fournette, he looked pretty good at the end of the last game. So if he can continue that'll be good for Tampa heading into this game. Where the Saints defense hasn't really been able to stop the run, so they need the running backs to come out strong for them in that matchup. And we're going to go and head into our lock picks of the week. I guess I'll start. And my game is actually the Monday night game. Last time I picked this team, they disappointed me. But New England, come on, you got to come through for me this time around. You're playing the Jets. I think that's pretty explanatory on why I'm picking them. But I think New England's going to bounce back this week. They don't really have any weapons on offense to help Cam. I think Cam his performance last week or this past week was overshadowed by the late fumble, which lost him the game. But I think outside of that fumble, he had a very solid game, and I think he'll continue that this time around, and they'll come out with the victory. I think Damian Harris played a big role in the game against Buffalo, and I think it'll continue against the Jets, who really can't stop anyone. And I think the defense is going to just be what it normally is, and it looked better last week, but I think the defense is going to have a few scores this week.
My locks is going to be the Steelers against the Cowboys. I mean, and for good reason. The Cowboys are a dumpster fire. Right now, their defense is atrocious. They're playing with a third-string quarterback who's going up against the best defense in the entire NFL. That game is not going to be close. The Steelers are clicking on awesome. There's all three of their receivers, Deontay Johnson, Juju Smith-Schuster, Claypool, their top three receivers are probably all going to have 100-yard games. I wouldn't be surprised. So, yeah, it's going to be a long day for Cowboys. It's going to be a long day for Cowboys fans because, like I said, I think overall right now the Steelers look like the best team in the NFL, and the Cowboys really haven't figured out anything.
I mean, It's gonna be It was a long day for NFL fans watching that Sunday night football game against the Eagles and the Cowboys. I mean, it was just crazy just watching that game. I was like, this game is terrible, and I would laugh at how terrible these two teams are, but my team lost to both of these fucking teams, and it was just as bad.
I called the Giants Bucks. I had the Bucks as my lock. I said that the game would be close. I said that the Giants have an opportunity to win. I knew they would blow it.
Yeah, but the Giants lost to both the Eagles and the Cowboys. Both games they should have won, but they choked and they lost. And you see that fucking game was terrible on TV. So I don't even know what to think because the Giants lost to both teams. So I don't even know what to think about that team. Like, we're in every game except for the 49ers game, and we seem to blow it. But with that, I'm going to lead into my upset pick, and I'm actually just going to go with the Giants. They seem to, like I said, be in every game, but they blow it. But they didn't blow it against Washington, and that's exactly who they're playing this week. And they're going to go against Washington. I don't know how much more you want me to say. It was a very close game, and hey, it was a very close game last time around. I think it's going to be a very close game this time around. Daniel Jones showed some bright spots at the end of last game. He still had his turnovers, and I think he needs to, shore that up if he wants a job in New York moving forward. But I think he'll still have his turnovers, but he'll have a game where it's good enough for us to win. I think that defense is what's going to lead the Giants to victory, and we're going to get win number 2 to win 7. Here we go.
I think it would be a close game. I think it'll be a defensive battle, but obviously, I mean, we faced a lot better defense in Tampa Bay, and we were capable of getting the offense going. A lot more, creative play calling by Garrett. So I will be obviously
the creative play calling looked good. What was it last night? Yeah, last night.
So I'm actually surprised that they are an underdog. But with that being said, I'll go into my underdog or my upset pick, which is the Saints for that New Orleans Tampa Bay game. I kind of already said it. I mean, offensively, I feel like the Giants kind of gave the game plan on what to do against that Tampa Bay defense. But ultimately, it just comes down to the fact that the Saints actually have the high caliber players in which to finish the game out. A quarterback that's not gonna throw 2 interceptions and a late 2-point get the late 2-point conversion or the 2-point conversion throw out late. They have a lot better running back in Alvin Kamara, who's better than any running back the Giants have on the committee, who is also dangerous in in his ability to catch passes. And like I said, Michael Thomas, who, if you want to get the ball out quick, he loves that slant route, and he's capable of taking that slant route to the house every time. So I do think they're gonna make it a tough day on that Bucs defense, as are the Bucs to their defense. But I do think it's probably going to come down to one possession. Drew Brees having it at the end of the game. I think they win it.
I mean, the past couple games have been very close, and I would like to say that the offense hasn't looked all that good as of late, but then you also got to give them credit that they've been missing Michael Thomas practically for the whole season. Yep. He's only played a handful of games, and all they really had on offense is Alvin Kamara, because Emmanuel Sanders has missed the past 2 games with COVID, and he should be back too. So Drew Brees is going to get his entire weapons ready and suited for I believe is Sunday night. So it should be a very interesting game. Like you said, I think it's going to be high scoring. I, however, picked Tampa, so we'll see how that goes. But I'm expecting a very good game. Hopefully, it's a lot better than what we've seen this past Sunday Night Football, and I think it's gonna be unmatched. I think it's gonna be a great battle between 2 great quarterbacks, and
hopefully the Saints win that game, because if they don't, it's automatic 2 losses for me on the week.
Yeah, you don't need that.
I'm going big with them.
You need to hit 500. So Hey, now that we went
5 of
balls
those
deep
this week.
on NFL Week 9 with our pick'em, we're going to end it right here and just let you know. Go tune into episode 27. It should be out, so just go check that out. And follow us on social media. On Instagram, we put up a post every Friday and Saturday. We'll be coming out with some content. Saturdays are for our NFL weekly pick'em, and just make sure to comment, hit us up in our DMs. Let us know about any topics you want us to cover, or what you think about what we're producing. We want to interact, and we can't get better if you guys don't let us know what we need to improve on, and we can't continue to do what you guys enjoy if you guys don't let us know. So, just hit us up. Let us know. As always, we appreciate you guys. Thank you, and see you next week after Jovan, goes 5-0 like he always says.
Peace.
You're talking about balls deep.
I'm talking about balls deep. We're talking about balls deep in love. I'm talking about balls deep. My boy's talking about balls deep. We're talking about balls deep in love.
Yo, what's up, everybody? King Triple C here, the Olympic champ, the flyweight champ, and the bantamweight champion of the world. In other words, the GOAT, the greatest of all time. Man, that's right. Anyhow, I want to give a special shout out to Devin and Jovan. I know you guys have started your podcast, Balls Deep, with Devin and Jovan. I want to congratulate you guys, and I want to tell everybody that's out there that doesn't know about them to you guys follow them, subscribe to them, and you guys make sure to follow them on all your social media platforms. Because if you don't, you guys can bend the knee to Triple C.